Hi guys, welcome back to All the Things Real. I'm your host, I'm Mel, and I'm always gonna keep it real. We dive deep into the real lives and stories of those making a big difference in the East Valley and beyond. I'm a proud Mesa, Arizona native, and from residential real estate to commercial real estate to developments to entrepreneurship, mental health, design, I'm going to be here to help design our lives, and no topic is going to be too real. Hi guys, welcome back to All the Things Real. We're here with my friend Kristen Merwin. We are in the Organic Modern Basement project, and I'm glad that we actually are utilizing the space that we finished but didn't finish.
We love it.
I know it's great, and I love that your boys are somewhat keeping it like it's not on fire
yet.
I love when I come back to and I'm like, okay, there's a rug gone,
there's some holes in the wall, there's a little blood from a wrestling match over in the corner.
Next time maybe we're gonna get this will be different, like maybe we'll have artwork, or weren't you gonna get like a shuffleboard or something?
Yes, but they are so
long,
rough.
It's like you almost just have to have walls.
Yeah, for a while.
Old couch
for a while.
Yeah, or they make it old.
I think this started out pretty good.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I know we've been talking about this for a long time, and it's been like over a year when you first were going to jump on and then took a little hiatus. So, have you been on a lot of podcasts before? I feel like recently you have.
I have done several.
Okay. Yes. Okay. You're more professional than me. So let's start from the somewhat beginning of not necessarily your whole Montana story, but you have so much going on that I want to make sure I hit all of this, because knowing you personally, starting as my design client, turning into a great friend, more like you probably have seen me cry more than anyone else, like in the middle of a session with you, which I'll tell you all the things of. Maybe we could talk about that. Yeah. In hypnotherapy, where I'm literally like, I have no control over my tears right now. Like I'm just crying.
I remember you saying, every time I'm around you, I cry. And I'm like, I know, it's good.
I know, you're
Let your tears come.
I know. And I'm fine with that. I'm not a person that's like, don't cry. Or I'm like, I'm about to start my period. It's fine.
Same, girl.
Okay. So over the last, especially I think since we first met during COVID-ish times, your business has evolved. You've evolved, obviously. I think a lot of self-growth. I don't know which one is more, but that's kind of what I've noticed with your working path, is that some of your decisions, it's just you found your passion, and you've created and been invited to so many new like levels, if you will. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to let you start with what's your, when we first started, you started developing, I believe, like Magic Inside brand. Yes. Tell us about that. We'll start there.
So I started out in photography for 10 years, and I did that while my kids were young. And then in 2016, I decided to take the life coaching certifications that I had gotten just as a mom, not to be a coach.
Right.
And combine them with my photography. And then I created these Magic of Me sessions for kids. And so it was taking these photo sessions, and then I would create these books where it was double exposures of things that they loved and what their name, the definition of their name is, and what the moon looked like on the night they were born, and like a whole book all about them.
And what was the main client of yours, I guess? Like, are you giving this because it's like a mom wanting this, or is this for the kid, or how did that need and whatnot come about?
I started out actually working with one of the women's shelters here, and I was working with those children just as a pro bono for them.
Yeah.
And then it evolved from there, and I would do a family session, and then I had parents reaching out for just like an individual child. And that's how it kind of evolved, doing them here and there. And then I launched it, the Magic of Me sessions, February 2020. And we all know what comes next. I think I had 3 weeks before the whole world shut down. And so I did a few sessions before I had parents reaching out asking about possibly coaching or resources for their kids. And I had gotten all of these certifications. And so while I didn't set out to coach ever, in fact, I said I'm not ever coaching, I said I'll just do it until what was that term we used? Flatten the curve or whatever. Is that what we called it? Flatten the curve?
I don't even know.
Anyway, there was something we used.
Return back to life.
Yeah. So I was like, I'll just do that like through while we're all hunkered down. And then it just started to grow. And the curriculum that I was certified in was not good for Zoom. And all my sessions, almost all my sessions were Zoom. Even the local kids, they just loved Zoom. And so then I wrote my own curriculum called 7 Magic Mindsets with characters. And that's what evolved into a book about the 7 characters called Magic Mountain. And I continued to get more education. Again, it was always for myself and for my motherhood journey. And that has evolved into working with women. So I'm primarily working with teens and women now, as well as just finishing my book, Sacred Return.
Yeah. I love that all those like little milestone or steps that you talked about, I feel like I witnessed those while designing in different phases of your home and working with you. Literally, it would be like going through your office and seeing these characters and us trying to figure out, okay, how do we make these colorful characters look pretty in the house?
Right.
Because if you were having like, you know, a session in your house or even virtually, what your office space looked like. I remember having to design like for your Zooms and whatnot. But then also, I feel like I remember one of the first times that we like started really talking, and you mentioned, you know, about motherhood, and just, you can tell me if you don't want to talk about this.
Yeah.
But it just reminded me of kind of, I feel like this is where it launched you into more research and what has become now of you, one of your kids, I think, were struggling and or like how they learn. And you were at the same time too, maybe there was some anxiousness or, you know, there was a lot going on besides because of the COVID times, everyone was anxious and whatnot. But it sparked something within you because you're like, I need to figure out how to we had to like set up your computers and whatnot to make sure how your son could learn best, because now we're in a learning facility in our own homes, right?
Totally.
And if you're having, I mean, again, you can remind me what the issue was, which I don't think it was an issue. Sorry, I'm like going.
Yeah, no, you're good.
But you know
my
what I mean?
with your.
Because I'm like, I remember like literally like this is why interior designers, like I swear we're somewhat therapists, because we have to know function is always first. And you also though were like, I'm gonna get certified in all these things because I need to be the best mom I can, and I need to know how to help my son, like, you know, study in my home pretty much the best. And I'm a mom feeling like I have ADHD right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and then I was diagnosed. So there you go.
Yeah.
I remember taking you downstairs, and it was dark down here, and everybody was online learning.
Yeah.
And I had spent a fair amount of time crying in my bedroom at certain times because I was like, what are we actually doing?
Yeah.
My youngest was 2nd grade, maybe, doing virtual PE.
Yeah.
And I remember walking in and my daughter was doing online pottery making, and I was like, what is actually happening? I feel like they were a lot more resilient than I was. But that's where I could see my son learning and or trying to learn, and really having a difficult time. And so I'm grateful for that time because I could see what I had suspected all along. And so that's where I started doing research. I found Dr. Amen, became one of his brain health practitioners, learned about the way that the brain works. I enrolled into Dr. Shafali's conscious parenting, to become one of her conscious parenting coaches, because I knew that my anxiousness was bringing up my kids' anxiousness. And I knew that their struggles had something to do also with the way that I was handling things. I knew there was a better way to balance this. I just didn't know how to do it. Like, that phase of motherhood was a lot harder for me than when they were young. Even though we had 4 children in a really short amount of time, everything was manageable because schedules, it was like small kids, small problems.
Right. That's a good, I like that.
Yeah.
Is that in your book?
I don't know if it's in there or not. So that's when they got to that teenage, adolescent, teenage.
That launched a lot of your now, what's going on career-wise.
Because I knew there had to be a better way to do this. And I knew that time with them was short. I just didn't know how to get there. So I was like, I'm going to look for the best teachers and find out, what steps I can take.
Do you feel like you learned more doing that about you and like while studying the brain, or for your kids?
I for sure learned more about me. Which
then in the end helps
everything. I mean, I started with Dr. Shafali to heal my relationship with one of my kids because I just could not get through to them. And I was like, they're driving me crazy. I'm going to take this course, and it was like a 9-month program, and this is going to help me to get through to them. And about 2 or 3 months in, I was like, oh, I'm the problem, actually.
Hi,
it's me. And I looked at my own patterns. I looked at my own limited beliefs and everything I was projecting onto them. And I took a really hard look at myself and found compassion. And I think that was the first time that I had really learned to sit with self-compassion. And in doing that, I could then give my child so much compassion. But I had to give it to myself.
Did you see him a change in that time too?
A huge change. But it started with me.
I mean, it always does. I think that's in any kind of relationship, if it's your kid, if it's a husband, a friend, just keeping your side of the street clean in every way, which is taking care of yourself, finding you, and so that you then don't project and all those things, right?
And looking at what upsets you. Because people think, oh, if my kid acted better, I wouldn't be like this. If they just wouldn't do this, then I wouldn't do this. And actually, that's not true.
Because some parents might be like, well, that wouldn't bother me. Do you feel like was there any, was it control? Like kind of like you let go of some things, like trying to be in control, where you realize there's certain things that you just cannot be in control of?
So it looks like control on the outside, but under that is fear. So I would say that, yes, the outside looked like me letting go of some control, but the truth is I stopped fearing.
I feel like that's why a lot of people control too, is just because it's all fear. Like, this is going to be the thing I can control, because then I know what's going to happen. But life happens.
And a lot of these experiences are exactly what our kids need to grow into the people we want them to grow into, right? And so it's not all dandelions and roses. And they have to fall.
My kids, or Addie, she would kill me if she watched this. Being a girl especially, she's like, teenage girls, like, it's I didn't choose for you to get divorced and to be a single mom and all the things. And I'm like, maybe you did. Maybe this is like the lesson. I'm sorry, and I get it, but you're also getting the best version of me if I wasn't divorced. I would have never gone back to me. I would have never discovered, and like, I'm just so thankful. That's the cheesiest, but like real definition of silver lining is that's what it took in my experience for life to now give her the best experience as far as like me as a mom for her. And then there's so much, just the biggest thing for me is just when you go through a divorce, losing control,
Right.
when you're with someone else, and I don't 50% of the time have
Right.
any control. But anyway, so I try to explain that to her, and she's like, "You're so weird."
I mean, there's something to be said for also showing children that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away.
Yeah.
And I know we hear the opposite. And
Yeah.
we just
Don't
talked
quit.
with John, my husband,
Yeah.
and it's like we've been married 26 years. So I'm not coming from a trite place of marriage, but truly there are circumstances where the bravest thing you can do is leave.
Yeah. Right.
And that's important to show your kids if that's
Yeah.
the situation you're in.
Right. Yeah. It's all meant to be. Okay, so you are you doing sessions now currently? Like, where has that evolved in that little book of business?
Well, I always said I was never working with teenagers
And never coaching.
and never coaching, to only working with teenagers because that's what filled up my waiting list.
Yeah.
And then over the course of the last couple years, I was certified in the breathwork and hypnotherapy, yoga, like the somatic, the body modalities.
Yeah.
Because that's what was missing in a lot of my work is like, we talk all about the mind all the time. That's what you hear about, is changing your mindset. And even my curriculum is 7 magic mindsets. But if your body doesn't know that you're safe, you can tell your mind all day long. And if there's no body work,
your body holds it.
Your body keeps the score of everything. So that was the missing link. And you had a session with me when I was training. I think you were one of my 8 sessions that I needed to turn into my practitioner.
Yeah.
It's a game changer.
Yeah. I loved experiencing it because I'm weird anyways, and I love being uncomfortable because you get the most growth, I think, from it. But that was one of the modalities that I hadn't experienced yet. And it seemed similar to like EMDR to me, and a mix of, different modalities I've done. You call it a modality? I'm just used to like massage therapy term.
Yeah, it is.
But just like, it was such a great, cool experience. I think everyone in their head for modern day, for like hypnotherapy, they think of like, you're going to cluck like a chicken and they make you do funny things on stage or something. Right. But I was well aware of what was going on, and I was still here. You're just, as I would explain it, you're just so deeply relaxed that your body, mind, everything is kind of finally at the same time, like now simmered down at the same time, your nervous system, so that you can, it's almost like, it's like you did surgery without surgery. Yes. With your words, and being able for me to just like completely, again, it's so weird. Like,
you're
I'm
in
awake.
Theta brain state. Which is the first 0 to 7 years. Right.
And then just, it was such a fun, crazy experience because what popped up, I had no clue, and it was just, it took me back to 6th grade.
Is that where we went?
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it makes sense overall. Like if you see it on paper of events in your life, but because I think it was like not my event that happened, and it took me back to how I experienced it. And that was very interesting of how like it released. And I remember starting where I was like, I think I was having like a lot of jaw problems or something. And then as I was laying there, my body just slowly stopped, like started to release. And by the end, you're like, I saw like my shoulders and neck. And that's where my body keeps the score.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that combination with like talk therapy, or, it's not always going to be for every season what kind of modality is good for you.
Totally.
But I loved that it was perfect timing for that and got a release, and
Thank
probably
you
need 20 more sessions.
No.
So is your program derived? Do you think, is it designed specifically for teenagers and that's why you attracted that age? Or is it just because of when you're developing this, you had teenagers? And so that's like the people that you knew, that's how they found you?
I don't ever advertise. I mean, I'm terrible about social media. I think I've posted once in months.
Yeah.
I don't know how they find me for sure. It's word of mouth, but
Okay.
I feel like every student or woman that I work with is exactly who I need to, because it's amazing when you're coaching someone and you're talking to a teenager about using her voice, being brave.
The reminder for you.
I'm always so grateful for the amazing.
Do you ever have, this just made me think of it too, like, because I'm a licensed massage therapist, and I always said like I feel like I get more out of it than, my client would. And sometimes, depending, I would get bad things, like get their headache and stuff, because I didn't know how to ground myself back then. But when you said I don't market myself, I really had a hard time like charging people, or still even to this day, because again, I feel like I get more out of it. It grounds me. And because you have to go to a certain place when you are taking someone to a certain place. That makes sense. And totally. So it's kind of like you're putting yourself in your own theta. Do you think that's a correlation for you, like why you're just referral based, but also not to market it and stuff? Because I feel like it's just your passion and what you're good at, and that you benefit from it. Have you ever thought about that? Like, or is that just me that I'm a weirdo? Like, I'm like, I can't charge you because, I love doing this.
I do love doing this. I've taken a lot of classes though around the business, the spiritual entrepreneur, and I do mostly have an exchange for either service or money, just because that's an energetic exchange. Right. And with the work that I do, it's hard. It can be difficult for someone to invest fully if there's not an exchange of some sort. Right. Yeah. It's like they have to also be willing to invest. Invest something. And was that your question?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. We're two ADHD symptoms, like, just talking to each other. I love that. How would you describe to someone listening, like, if you were going to market yourself, that business, what is it exactly, and who is your client?
So I'm currently doing the hypnotherapy sessions with women. My website is almost completely finished. Okay. I have my children's book that's being illustrated. So I wrote the book back in 2021. Actually, before I wrote this latest book, and just found an illustrator in my neighborhood, a girl I've known forever. And so I'm like, where have you been for the last 4 or 5 years? Yeah. So she's helping with that. I'm hoping to put my books out about the same time. Okay. And
one's like towards kids.
Magic Mountain is for kids, and Sacred Return is for women. And it's the same. I didn't do that on purpose. I didn't realize until I finished Sacred Return. I was like, this is literally the woman's version of Magic Mountain. Exactly. And I did not realize that until I finished it.
Yeah. I think those, as your friend from an outsider looking in, that's what has rang big for me, of noticing like you are a huge advocate, anything to do with kids. You're like that. I'm going to be a mama bear and protect any kid. That's just like how I've seen you in all different aspects and ways. You have one on your hip that's not yours, but also like one of your daughter's friends calling in a situation. You're like, hey, do you know a therapist? Like you're there. And then women, especially, and maybe because too of my divine timing of, you know, getting out from a divorce, but like you just attract or help where you'd always have a single lady, it sounded like, struggling or needing help, just someone needing help. And you're just the first, always like, oh, I have someone living in my guest house, like always. And that's just what I've noticed. That is your calling, or at least, again, it seems like you're passionate about it.
It's funny you say that because I just had someone mention that the last time I was doing this, about how fiercely protective I am of kids.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize I was like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, you are not just your own kids, all kids.
Yeah.
And that does ring true for me. I guess I'm outraged when I see that everyone's not like that, because I just think these are all of our kids. And when I see a child hurting, I don't care if it's not my child.
Yeah.
I feel like every responsible adult should step in and help them up.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I have those tendencies, but no, you do go to a different level of where you will treat any kid like they are your own, and how you approach them. So I could imagine how a session would go with you, that like you're just this nurturer and protector. And it's like, if you weren't going to have your million kids and do Brooklyn bedding or whatever, I feel like you had to have been a nurse in a past life, or a teacher, or, you know, something like that. Because again, I have that natural of like, I love babies. I'll just snatch a baby whenever I'm walking around and I don't even know them. Right. But you do go to a different level where it's just, there needs to be 100 million teachers of you. You know what I mean?
Okay, so the reason I started doing 7 Magic Mindsets, the curriculum, was because I could see that sometimes it's literally like one sentence, one statement you can say to a kid that you will just totally see the light bulb come on. Like it can change everything, having one adult believe in them.
Yeah.
And when you see how simple this is, and I think we're overcomplicating what it is to just love a kid and show them their magic. Like,
so that is the basis of your program, is you're just trying to help them find their magic.
Totally. I'm just reminding them of who they are. I don't see it as like self-development or self-improvement or any of that. I literally bring them back to what their gifts are, what their talents are, help them, why are you here? What do you love? And you see them light up again, because when you have that, you can be resilient. You can conquer anything.
Yeah.
If you remember who you are.
Yeah. Do you have an experience in your childhood that you can remember, that what was the one line said to you? Who was the person that gave you a one line that you're just like, I felt so good about myself, or that felt like I was seen, kind of thing, where you felt yourself light up?
I mean, I had great teachers, and I also had a grandmother that lived down the street that wrote us, each of her grandchildren, Magic Mountain books. And so that's the inspiration behind Magic Inside, is because she wrote each one of us Magic Mountain stories, and we were the main character.
So cute.
Yeah. I have never put that out there, but I should, because she even recorded herself reading our Magic Mountain stories when she found out she had cancer.
Shut up.
No. So we have her reading our stories to us.
You need to put that audio over.
I know.
Something like on your website or
I'm
your
just videos. Not on social media. It's just like the last thing that I think about is, I should post something.
That's why you just need to borrow my team and tell them to post for you.
That'd be amazing.
Because it's too much.
And I have the book upstairs.
Yes.
in the
Oh
in
my
the
God.
plastic binder with
I
the
mean, it
puppy
shows
stickers.
a full circle
Yeah,
for you.
it really does.
Yeah.
That was the inspiration, because I have no doubt I was a difficult child to raise. I'm quite certain. Like, I had unlimited energy, 100 miles an hour. I remember going to my grandma's a lot. She'd paint my nails, watch Fraggle Rock,
Give your mom
tell
a break.
tell me Magic Mountain stories.
Oh my God, I love that Fraggle Rock. They're like, what's that?
I know.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So you also recently did you say you interviewed for a TV show?
I was cast in a TV show, a docuseries.
Okay. A docuseries.
Not a reality TV show, a docuseries.
Did it feel like a reality TV show?
John did text me. I think maybe the series put something on their stories or something, and he's like, "It looks like you're doing a reality TV show." I'm like, "It does, doesn't it?" But
now, is this the one that's on the island?
Writer's Island.
Writer's Island.
Yep.
And you went in with intentions, or didn't even think what you thought the experience was going to be was nothing like it, and what came out was you wrote a book, right?
I hope that they recorded me at the beginning. I couldn't remember where we started, but I said, I'm not writing a book. I have already written a children's book that I haven't published yet. I'm going to finish my curriculum, which I did do. I finished my curriculum to train coaches to teach the curriculum. Yeah. So my plan was to go and do that. And then the night before we flew out for the island with all the authors, I had this whole entire book, like start to finish, drop in. And I was so not happy about it, because I was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this. I know what this is going to take, and I don't want to do it. Brooklyn had just gotten married.
Yeah.
I've always tried to pace myself. And like when I was planning her wedding, I was like, this is your
focus.
Yeah. And then this publisher reached out to me, and I think a week after Brooklyn was married, and she said, I had heard that you were saying no to all things, and now she's married, and what do you think about this and this? And I just said yes to all of it.
Yeah, I'm so glad. I mean, timing is everything, but it's funny when you think again, you're in control and pacing yourself, but
I have to.
Yeah. You're on a wild ride, and it's fun watching again from my position and seeing the position that you're being put in some of your yeses.
Right.
I'm loving it.
It's been a wild year.
Yes.
It's been a whole year of yes to everything.
I know. And look what's coming.
Right.
I love too that I feel like you're such a grounded, you're a stubborn son of a bitch.
I'm from Montana.
That if everyone just like heard what you kept saying, I said no. And then you're like, okay, I ended up doing that. So I can imagine you as a child, I guess.
Yes,
but
it's fun.
Yeah. I think that you saying yes doesn't mean that it's always going to be a yes. And maybe, again, it's just the timing of it. So I'm so excited to see where all of it takes you just personally, because I think all of this is just making you find who you are again, and not perfecting it, but again, just like
becoming more of who I am.
Yeah.
And letting go of all the things that I'm not.
And if that's putting on more hats, and to do that, I think that's how I'm like witnessing it from behind. Do you feel the same?
I don't know what it looks like from the outside. I think I'm too far in this.
Yeah.
I know that my family is the one that I feel like my family suffers when I take on too much, when I'm like putting on too many hats. So I have learned how to take a season, and it's like no to almost everything when I need to.
Yeah.
And then, just like when Brooklyn got married, a whole part of my brain opened up, and I was so excited. I was so happy.
Right.
The day after her wedding, I remember people saying, you'll feel so sad.
Yeah. No, I remember talking to you, and you're like, and I can breathe. Let's go.
Next.
Yeah.
I put off a lot of things that I wanted to do because I wanted to be completely there for her.
Right.
And the process of that.
Right.
And then I think it was a week to 2 weeks later, I started saying yes to all of these opportunities.
Yeah.
And that's been it's been almost a full year.
Yeah. Well, thank you for saying yes to me and doing my podcast. I feel like we're going to have to do phase 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, just like all of your design projects.
Right.
So that this is how we're going to hang out. Because when you're our age, you have to plan a podcast to be able to hang out. So next time I'll do it in the evening, like I said, around maybe the fire with some whiskey and wine. Okay, I love you.
I love you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
For the people of Arizona and or visitors, because there's so many visitors here right now, I hate the traffic. Do you have any hidden gems that you would say, okay, this is a restaurant you need to go try. This is a hike. Like, where do they need to experience? Maybe it's in the East Valley specifically. Where would you recommend going?
So my saving grace this last year has been Reconnect.
Funny story, I just ran into him at my office.
Okay, I got a membership there.
Yes.
While I was going through the whole writing my book, because I'm like, oh, my nervous system is not going to sustain this.
Yep.
And I think I just went back because they had like a grand opening for something.
Yeah, they expanded.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And then I just paid attention to how that felt in my body, my soul. And I was like, okay, we're going to do this.
That's why I'm avoiding it right now. I'm not ready to go back.
I'll meet you there.
I know. And we did it back in the day.
I went my first time with you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome for being in your life.
You're the best.
But go connect with Reconnect.
Oh,
it's a whole experience, right?
It literally, I spent 2 hours there with a friend.
Yeah. And you might cry. You might use it like a spa. You might be mad, but some way you're going to have a great release and a great experience, and you'll probably go back.
And you just leave feeling better. It doesn't matter how I show up there. When I leave, I'm so grateful.
You're glad you went.
Yeah.
It's just like working out.
It really is.
You show up, and then you're like, well, I don't regret that.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay. I love you.
I love you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ta-da! Thanks for tuning in today, you guys, with All the Things Real. If today's episode connected with you, will you please subscribe, like, share, leave a nice little review. And until next time, I'm Melissa, and I'm signing off from the heart of East Valley. Let's keep all the things real. This podcast was produced by Connor Greenwall, and the music Skyline Funk was by Alexander M. Thomas. I hope to see you guys next week, and I hope you also enjoyed this episode. Bye, guys.